Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another Walking Dead video for today. This one is going to be doing our weekly Saturday Spotlight video for this week. This one is going to be doing a Joe character Spotlight video. So, I want to say a huge thank you to Blind Entertainment for suggesting this character Spotlight video for this week. If you want to get a shout out from me, from Dan's Reviews, all you got to do is be the first one to comment and suggest a character Spotlight video for next week. And I will pin your comment on the top of all the comments, all the other comments, and everybody will know that you are the next person to suggest the next character spotlight video. And I will comment, I will reply to your comment saying done, and you will know that you are, chosen for the next character spotlight video. So, okay, so Joe from the Claimers. So basically, I want to focus on Joe and the Claimers in this video. And they are an awesome group. I mean, I want to say that right away. They are probably way more of a awesome group than even the Wolves or than, the hospital people or, some of the villains they had around that time. Joe and his, few characters, they kind of remind me of like, because really they're a group full of rednecks. So they remind me of a group like of just a bunch of Daryls, except they're very different, at the same time. But I really like this group. I really like the Claimers. Now, I think that, honestly, they should have kept the Claimers around longer because, even though you did have Terminus and all this kind of stuff, then you had the Beth storyline that just really was not interesting. So, you should have had, like, Joe and the others, like, capture Beth or something, and, you'd have some kind of exciting story like that instead of the stupid hospital stuff. Have Joe survive longer. I don't know, something like that. I think that would have been really cool because, man, I mean, the way they went out with Rick, biting Joe's neck out was awesome. But at the same time, I kind of wanted to see them go on longer. That's a group of villains I just always wish we'd see more of. But in terms of the group, so they're like a season 4 second half group of villains, which The Walking Dead has like tons of villains all the time. So, I mean, honestly, sometimes you'd even have like 3 or 4 villains per season. Sometimes, or you'll have other seasons like season 7 or 8 where you have the same villain for like 2 or 3 seasons. Negan, of course. So, but around this time, around season 4, season 5, and season 6. Is when we really had like a bunch of different villains, and they, all their storylines went by fast. Like the Joe Claimer storyline, for example, was, really, really fast storyline. The Terminus storyline, really fast. The Dawn Beth storyline, really fast. The Wolves storyline, really fast. Like, you just had a lot of villains around this time that, didn't get as much time as the Governor or Negan or Alpha, the Whispers. Like, that's really what I'm saying. So, for Joe, he shows up in season 4, episode 11. Of course, they break into the house that Rick is, in. Michonne and Carl are looking for supplies. And of course, he's hiding under the bed, and it's kind of the question of what's going to happen, And I really like it, too, how Rick, he's so weak from the fight with the Governor that he can't really fight any of them. Probably not even one of them at this time. So he has to literally hide under this bed until this guy falls asleep. Of course, the other guy, he chokes out, but he saw Rick. So obviously Rick has to get out of there. So I love when Rick is kind of, he's, trying to get out, and, he's trying to get out of the bed. And this is the part I always remember. He's like, getting out or whatever, and then all of a sudden he hits the guy's leg, and I'm just like, oh my god, is the guy waking up? Is the guy waking up? And he didn't. But that was a really intense episode. I remember that episode claimed how intense that was. And, of course, we get to see Rick, who, he doesn't really, like I said before, he doesn't have the strength to be fighting any of them right now. So he's trying to hide. You got Joe who's throwing the ball on the wall. Rick's like right behind like the bookcase or whatever. And it's just like, what's going to happen, that type of thing. They found a clean shirt, the Claimers are starting to get suspicious. And then, of course, he goes into the bathroom, and, that's when all hell breaks loose, of course. So, of course, we get to see him strangle the guy, which I'm not really sure I'm not sure if this is realistic, because, if I'm being honest, Rick was making quite a bit of noise in, the bathroom when he was, trying to kill that guy. I'm surprised that not one of those Claimers, went up the stairs and was like, what's going on up here, It was so noisy, I don't know. I didn't find that realistic, there was even the part where the one guy, he's like, hold on, let me get a gun. And Rick, hid in the bathroom. And he closed the bathroom door. And the door did the biggest, squeak ever. And the guy was walking by the bathroom door. I don't know. Some of that stuff was a bit unrealistic for me. But it was super intense. And definitely the claimers, Rick knew these guys were terrible. So, of course, after he kills the guy in the bathroom, he takes his murder coat that he gets from, because that's when he first puts on the famous Rick murder coat, and he walks out, and he hides right next to the deck. And Joe is, sitting right there. And I remember, I was like, oh my god, what is Rick going to do? And then it gets worse. It gets worse than that. Because then Carl and Michonne are walking back, with all the supplies they have. And Rick is, standing under there, he's like, oh my god, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And he's just, he doesn't know what he's really going to do. And he tries to, make a run for it. And then he hears the walker turn in the bathroom. And Joe's like, ugh. So then he goes, of course, and, checks that out. And then Rick, goes with Michonne and Carl. But it was really close. I'm surprised Joe didn't see Michonne and Carl, to be honest. He was sitting right there. Really crazy timing in that episode for sure. So, after that, of course, they are looking for Rick to get revenge. And, of course, they find Daryl, which, Joe just knows. He figures Daryl out pretty quickly. And, of course, they know that Daryl's looking for Beth. I do believe Daryl did probably tell them. And I really like, too, how when Daryl joins the group, he kind of at first, there's no rules. And it's like Daryl he's like, well, if I'm going to survive it, I'm going to have to follow Joe's rules. And I like how Daryl, he's like, I'm not claiming nothing. But then later on, he's like, well, I kind of have no choice. These people are, these guys, they're really crazy, and if it comes down to it, they're going to kill me, right away. So, and I really like how Joe, too, he's kind of asking Daryl, he's like, well, you with us now, but you ain't soon, Daryl. Yep. And he's like, some of you guys ain't exactly friendly. He's like, you ain't so friendly yourself. But, I really like how Joe, I do believe Joe wanted Daryl to be part of the group, but at the same time, Joe has these rules. Daryl listened for a little while there, but then, of course, and then that's really what comes to the end of this video, is the end of Joe, where Daryl, he's part of the group, and, the one guy, it's like the one guy tried to screw Daryl over, of course, the guy with the bow and arrow, but Joe saw him plan everything out, so he decided to, teach him all the way and leave Daryl alone. And then in the season finale, it's kind of, flipped on Daryl. And once Daryl tells Joe that these people, Rick, Michonne, Carl, they're good people. I love when Joe, too, he's like, I think Lou would disagree with you on that. I have, of course, to speak for him and all, because your friend here strangled him in the bathroom. So he's really just pissed off at this point, and he wants blood. And, Daryl's like, I get it. And he's like, take it from me, man. And that's when he's just like, this guy killed our friend. You say he's good people. That's a lie right there. It's a lie. And then, of course, he's like, teach him, fellas, teach him all the way. And basically, everything goes through, and Rick and the others kind of, I was, pretty worried there for a bit there. But, I'd say Rick and the others win pretty much right away once, he bites Joe's neck out. So, and of course, all the claimers are killed at that time. You have the one that, has the knife to Carl, and it's just, man, Rick just murders him, oh my god. So, and not only that, but, the Joe and the claimers are so awesome that they literally had them in the Red Machete series. So, that's also really cool. But, in terms of this group, the Claimers, I think they're awesome, I think they're a really awesome group. I think they're a really cool group of villains, and I really wish they would have stayed for longer. But of course, not everybody, especially villains, they can't last forever. I'm sure the Whispers will be taken out this season, as well. So, but in terms of Joe and the Claimers, I want to say a huge thank you to Blind Entertainment for suggesting this video. Big shout out to Blind Entertainment, and of course, I want to ask you guys, what character spotlight video do you guys want to see next week? Write that down in the comment section below. And of course, I'm just, gonna say for the sake of this video, the Claimers, honestly, I wish they would have kept them around longer, because they were awesome. There wasn't many of them, but there wasn't many of Rick and the others at the time, too, because everybody was split up. So it was the perfect time for them to come in. So, yeah, really, really cool stuff. Write your comments in the comment section below. If you're new here, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my Walking Dead videos. And, of course, I want to hear from you guys what you think about this group, the Claimers. And do you, honestly, it's not like a group like it's like, oh, I missed them. I wish they never killed them off. No, they had, it was fine when they killed them off. But they could have lasted longer, for sure. So, But anyway, maybe some people feel differently. But I like Joe's group. I think they're awesome. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.